So I want to make sure you guys get hit with as much value as possible. So here is the pre-halving diet from Elio Trades, and we're going to break it down. So exercise daily. The bull run will ruin your patterns. You got to be physical, man. You got to get active. I can't stress this enough. I already do exercise daily. I love it. It's how I start my day. I do check the prices before I go exercise, though, I'm not gonna lie. And it's probably not the best way to wake up is waking up and immediately looking at your phone. But I have like a whole morning process where I'll get up, I'll check to see how I slept because I have an Aura ring. If you do not, it'll change your life knowing your readiness scores. The scores do help me. They're part of my health technology that helps keep me at peak. So I know when I can get enough sleep. I know when I can, sleep in a little bit, or when I need to take a nap for lunch, like to help keep me from throwing off. Because, like, honestly, left to my own devices, I would sleep probably like 4 hours or less a night, and I would just stay up. I would get manic, and then I get really weird and crazy. So a lot of people during the bull run, especially times like these where you can look at your prices one day and you're rich, and the next day you're poor or back to where you were. People dive 100% into just constantly checking the price. And that's not exactly healthy. That's called gambling at that point, especially if you're making decisions based on checking the price all day long. So definitely want to make sure you're exercising. You got to keep your body healthy because it also helps you process stress. And volatility is stressful no matter how you cut it. Second, point number 2, build real relationships. Bull is full of fakes / tourists. Can't express this enough. When I got into the space, the first project I got brought into, the first community I was a part of, was the EOS community. And there is a content creator who is a champion of that, named Dallas, who was... It was borderline. I mean, it was almost cult-like, man. But one of the... And, like, everybody was following him. He was a super, super large presence at the time. And he led us all down this rabbit hole of EOS is the only thing that's going to be great. And we all made money. And then we were very much in the cult of we're never going to sell. And then we all lost money, a lot of it on paper. And then Dallas just happened to disappear. And we really don't hear from him anymore, nor is he a presence in the space. And, he made a lot of money off of his content then. And that was when I realized that there were people who would come in, much like in the Manosphere, Red Pill space, and grift, get their money, and then leave that actually didn't really care about the community. But the one bonus about that, though, which was cool, was I established some real relationships because he had like a back channel that you could pay to be a part of, and we all did. And me and a group of the more active members, so there was probably about, like, I'd say 4 or 5 of us in there that were very active, very, trying to help support the community, kind of kept his stuff running, even though he was kind of, as things were going, he really wasn't that active in his own community. But those of us who were kind of banded together and started our own community, and we've been friends ever since. And I can honestly say that back channel that we created out of that has added more value, and definitely the friendships. Like, I've like a couple of those guys, like one of them, his side hustle, he trucks, he's a part-time trucker. And when he came through town, we took him out to dinner, got to thank him personally because he put me on game to get where I was at. And like being in that group, like, even though following that project and being that involved and kind of looking to one person to kind of tell us what we should be doing, which I highly don't recommend, even though like that specific situation didn't work out well, what came of it after the fact was life changing for me. So definitely there are people who will come out when things are great and they're only going to want to talk when things are great. And then as soon as stuff goes down, they're not going to know what to do because they have no plan for that because they've never experienced it because they are a tourist in the space. Also, they will most likely just make their money getting a lot of attention from people in crypto. And like they'll build up good platforms, they'll do flashy stuff, they'll get a lot of attention, they'll lead people astray, they will lose people money, and then they will leave. So, definitely solid advice. 3, set reoccurring buys. Now, me personally, this is great advice. Me personally, I am a manual person. I don't have anything that's automated. I have to do it all myself. Now, sometimes this is to my detriment, but that's the way my brain functions. I actually get satisfaction about placing my buys regardless of what the price is. Like when I actually get to buy, I like it. So like I'm old school in that sense. It's very analog. And but the one thing that I do is make sure that I am on a schedule and I keep it consistent. I make sure that I'm always checking, always ready. My buy frequency is exactly what it is every 2 weeks like clockwork. It's like a government check every 2 weeks. When I get paid, that money gets cut off the top. First thing I do, it's set aside. It doesn't exist except for going into the market. So 100%. Number 4. Oh, that was number 4. No, that was 3. Number 4, control expenses. 100%. And I can't stress that enough either. We're going into some volatile times. I mean, obviously, I've been ranting and raving about this period. Um, you have to control your expenses because, like I said, you're going to have days where you're going to wake up and you're going to be, at least for your concerns, like life changingly having more money. And then you'll wake up days and you're going to have life changingly upsetting amounts of loss because the market's just going to start swinging and it's going to swing hard. And when it starts swinging hard, if you're not prepared for it, people do stupid stuff during the upswings and they're not prepared for the downswings. There's a reason why when I had my first for real good bull run where I kind of knew what I was doing and I hit some great wins, some great wins. There's a reason I didn't quit my job. 100%. There's a reason instead of quitting, I use that to leverage to get into a better position because I knew that it wasn't going to stay like that. Like it was going to be one great year, and then you're going to have 3 more years of work. I also did not let that excessive bull run year get to my head because like it can mess with you. Like the whole mindset, your mentality can change because you get a little bit of money, but once it goes back down to zero, like you can literally go from making 10 grand a month to making $100 a month, depending on what type of plays you're doing. From the bull run peak to the drop off after the bull run's over. And a lot of people made decisions during the bull run that you can't necessarily walk back from. And there's a difference between I just call it people who got lucky. Like if you got lucky, you make stupid decisions. I'll say that again. If you got lucky, you make stupid decisions. And I say lucky because we're all going to look like geniuses. Basically, no matter who you listen to. You listen to me, you listen to Elio, you listen to any of these cats out here. Anybody, because anyone can come into this space during the bull run and they're going to sound like an oracle. They're going to sound like a genius. They're going to sound like they've got it all together. They've got it all figured out. But you've only got it figured out for that window of time, which is, I'd say, anywhere between 3 to 8 months. But people will be following you and winning. So like that 3 to 8 month window can carry you. That can galvanize a community around you. But everyone's right during the bull run. Like if you're wrong during the bull run, then you shouldn't be in this space. It's that easy to hit wins. The trick is not everybody tells you what you should be doing to set up for the crash when things fall off and there's 90% retracements. Projects get wiped out of existence. They don't teach you how to protect your gains. They don't teach you what you should be doing with your money. You're just throwing money at a bunch of people you're basically in a casino, and you gamble all the money, and then the house takes the money back at the end of the bull run. And then you got people have quit their jobs. They're thinking they're going to be making easy money every month. And then that tide comes out. You find out most of these dudes didn't have pants on. They're swimming naked. And it's more important, in my opinion, especially for people in the crypto space, because most of us are set up to have life-changing wealth thrust upon us. Those of us who have been here a long time, it's a matter of time. We've already won. But the trick is you have to have your character in line, and you have to have the financial literacy to know what to do with it, or it's going to be pointless. You're just going to have it for a blink of time. As quick as you got it is as quick as it will leave you. If you don't know how to protect wealth, if you don't know how to build wealth, are you going to have some life-changing money once and then have to go back to grinding as hard as you were to get that back up forever? Because this isn't going to necessarily be a every time it comes around thing. It's not. What we're doing now is so important because this opportunity isn't going to come around again. The internet was only made once. So control your expenses. Number 5, ignore the FUD. FUD, which actually will be, I guess, we'll drop some industry game on you. FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. When people are just constantly telling you bad news, normally bears, they're going to say everything is bad. The sky is falling. The price went down. You better get out of the market now. You better do this. You better do that. Run away. Run for the hills. And the way that I've always looked at this, because normally, because of my low IQ and my low intelligence, I'm too stupid to listen to people. I'm just like, cool, like whatever. You can say whatever you want to me. I'll figure it out for myself. But the thing that I find very interesting, and this is having been in this space for as long as I have, and if I'm fortunate enough to have Elio actually catch this video, I'm sure he would co-sign this. 10 years ago, the banks were themselves, JP Morgan Chase, all the bank guys, the big, large bank financial institution guys, were telling us that Bitcoin was just for drug dealers and people who were ne'er-do-wellers, walkers of the night, illicit people, you name it. Regularly. We shouldn't be in the market. That's not a market you want to be in. It's dangerous. It's unregulated. You're going to lose everything. You're going to lose your house. You're going to lose all your stuff. While the whole time they were getting involved in the market and buying up as much Bitcoin as they could. So whenever I start seeing the FUD cycle come around, I already know what it is, and I start looking to see, hey, who's buying right now? Oh, MicroStrategies is buying. I should probably be buying. Oh, JP Morgan Chase is buying. I should be buying. Oh, Fidelity's buying. I should be buying. They're not releasing those. That news cycle is not for them. It's to get you out of the way. It's to get you to give up your Bitcoin, because there's only so many Bitcoin, which means that, like, if we have a limited supply of them and they want to control the market, they got to buy them from you. And so the best thing that they can do is get you to sell all your Bitcoin for cheap. So that way, when the price runs up and they have it, they can sell it back to you for more. So I don't really take FUD too seriously. Like if I do, I talk about it, like I weigh in on my context, but 90% of the time, unless if it's Bitcoin and Ethereum, I just buy. Like I'm just looking for those prices to go down so I can buy. And last but not least, his last note to everyone is remember this off season. Everything we do now is preparation. Facts. Facts. Big facts. Everything that we're doing right now is preparation. You're sowing those seeds now. Reaping the harvest comes during the bull run. These little pops that we're getting now are not the bull run. We're not even close. When we get there, you're gonna know. Like I will probably be dropping daily during the bull run just because like there's gonna be something legitimate to talk about every day. I mean, there's stuff legitimate to talk about every day now. It's just not my thing. We'll probably get ramped up. You'll probably get a couple of extra bonus clips out of me during the bull run because it's going to be exciting. It's going to be crazy. Like we're going to have some nutty days and we're just going to have to talk about it. We're going to have to mine it out. Like you might get a live out of me during the bull run. It depends. But if you're not tapped in already, you should be tapping in with me on Thursdays for Guns and Butter because like we'll talk about whatever you want. That does include crypto. Nobody wants to talk crypto with me on Thursdays. Be nice to talk about some crypto on Thursdays a little bit. So we're going to wind it down on that note. As I said, I've got Leo Trades. His Twitter's pulled up. It's Leo Trades at Leo Trades. Definitely go follow this man. Wealth of information, really good knowledge. If you're following me, you should be following him. He has way more followers than me. So like if you're following me, you probably already know about him. But still, great dude. Good content. And the projects that he's involved with are very interesting. And, you know, they've been working when other people are not because it's not the bull run. It's not easy to make money. And those are the people that you should look to, the people who stayed, the people who continued building, the people who, even though the easy overnight instant gratification wasn't there for 3 years, we're still doing the work. Those are the people you should be listening to. Those are the people you should be looking to. Not the people who shut down their entire channel till the bull run came back to reopen their channel. If you see a 3-year gap, not the person you want to listen to. Just giving you a heads up. But we're gonna sign off.